Hello, I'm Boyd Barrett. Welcome to this video version of Trouble in Lincoln County. After we finished filming the video, I stopped by to see Richard Farnsworth at his place just outside of Lincoln. As an actor and a lover of the culture and history of the West, he was interested in my project.
Well, what are folks going to see on this video that they don't see in a live show?
Now, I love doing live one-man shows. It's great. I love the dynamic of having an audience there and having that immediate reaction between the audience and the actor. And there's something about that you really can't get anywhere else. But there's also something in film that you can't do live. And I believe that the people that have seen me do this show live before, when they see this film treatment of it, are going to see a lot of things, a lot of details that they never saw before.
One man who's been a mainstay in Lincoln County for quite some time is a rancher down near Roswell named Chisholm, John Chisholm. I had the opportunity to interview him not long after I got here. Come in. Well, yes, sir, I'm John Chisholm. And you? Oh, yes, reporter from New York. Yes, sir, I did receive your letter. I'll be happy to answer your questions. What is it you'd like to know? Where am I from? Well, the Apaches call me and my men Big Head Tejanos. Texas, that's where I'm from.
Testarossa stumbled at the start. Heading out for the lead is Bill's Last, and then back to the inside, Jess Lips. In middle of the course is Feature Mr. Who. Followed up to the outside by TMF Cash Dynasty, then Diego Rivera, and it is now Feature Mr. Who taking over. Feature Mr. Who from Bill's Last and Jess Lips. Feature Mr. Who gonna win easy. Feature Mr. Who and Escar Ramirez. Photo for second between Jess Lips and Bill.
I've seen him since he was a 2-year-old, and I've seen him run in the trials of the All-American. He won his trial. And since then, I was trying to purchase the horse. It came out to where the owners were, wanting to sell him, I believe, over in Oklahoma, and that's when I purchased the horse. Yeah, the horse is trained, by Alex Sanchez. And, he's, I think he's ready for the final. He's ready. He's looking and feeling strong, and I think we got very good chances with him, which, it's horse racing. You never know, even that he was the fastest qualifier. He's competing against, the best 3-year-old quarter horses in the United States right now. So, it'll be a nice race.
Well, the owners brought him to me last year before the All-American, before the Rainbow, really, and he wasn't ready, so we made him eligible for the Derby, and then I ran him in the All-American trials, and he didn't do too good there, but that's how I got him. They just brought him to me here. He went to California and he qualified for the Golden State and ran second in the finals, but he was still a maiden, so we brought him back to Remington. I broke his maiden, and then he went his Heritage Derby trial and qualified and ran 5th in it, and then we brought him here and he ran second and qualified for the Rainbow Derby. And he ran a good race in his trial. He'd been off a little while, but I look for him to run back a little better. He's a real big horse and can handle the distance well, so.
Riley, Johnny Riley, where did we put Mr. Brewer's account?
We'll have the figures in just a moment, sir.
Now, a few weeks ago, you bought a good deal of merchandise from us with the promise that you would repay with your own produce, as has always been our policy.
Oh, thank you, Johnny.
Here are the numbers, sir. Well, whether our prices are high is not the question. We are the only supplier of these goods in town. If you want to pay with your produce, here are the terms. Mr. Brewer, come back! You will face the courts for this, I guarantee it. Hothead. Johnny, when will these people ever learn? When they refuse to do business our way, they never last. Never. Either the court takes care of them, or we do.
They're running. Beautiful break from Ball. Hustled from the rail is a tempting Ocean up for the lead. And now we have YM Quick and Just 'Cause I Can. Far side CD Riggins and extreme outside JD. Middle of the track, it's YM Quick battling away with Just 'Cause I Can. Then CD Riggins and De Niro. Just 'Cause I Can, YM Quick. Just 'Cause I Can in front. Just 'Cause I Can from YM Quick. Then CD Riggins.
Last year, we tried to, we just couldn't get him to leave the gates very good. And so the owners took him home and they broke him on the chariots, and we bring him back in Sunland just prior to towards the end of the meet to getting out on him before we got to this deal here. We started him one time here. He got a little bit short, probably wasn't quite ready yet, and trials he just run a super race. Get back in the finals, it's anybody's deal. I know there's so many good horses in there. You just got to have the breaks, and one thing about it, everybody's running the same time, so you don't have to worry about the time of the day no more. But there are some other horses that made some mistakes that are good horses that we still have to improve probably a length or two to have a shot in it. But the horse run a really good race, so we're happy.
Terry Bell, you and me partnership gave me 4 horses to train, and I broke 2, and Jack Brooks broke 2, and Jack got them going. And before we moved to Remington, they knew how the gates and everything, and I just had to put the pieces together, and that's how the horses came to me by Jack Brooks and Terry Bell. Well, last year he made the finals for the Rainbow Futurity, and we took him to Dallas and run down there, and after we ran in Longstar Park, we decided he was a stud, and we decided to go ahead and cut him. And since we cut him down in Remington Park, this beginning of summer, he was running some big races out there, and we brought him up here. And the other day in the Rainbow Derby trials, he left there like he always does, and he did it through a great race, and ended up qualifying with the 4th fastest time.
When this colt was 2 days old, my mom and I were down at JEH looking at him, and I called my dad and I said, I like this colt. I really do. So as time went by, my dad gave me 20% of him, and my dad liked him too, and we felt because of the family that he had come from, the pedigree, the way his siblings, Genuine Joy and Frontier Justice, had run, we felt that this colt would have some talent. My dad worked him, and he was very happy with what he saw, but there were some minor issues, so he held off of him his 2-year-old year. And then last February, he finally had his first out at Sunland, and he showed some talent. He got in a little bit of trouble at the break, but then he showed some run. And so my dad just has slowly built him this last spring. And finally in the trial, he was able to really run.
Jesse Evans, a supplier? Well, I suppose you might call him that. He and his gang were the worst bunch of cattle rustlers in the territory. And their biggest source was the Chisholm herds. But cattle thieving was not the only thing Jesse and the boys were known for. Well, well, what have we here? Come here, boys, I think we done found ourselves some friends. Yes, sir, howdy, friends. Sure was nice of you to invite us over for dinner. Oh, you don't remember doing that, do you? Well, maybe this will refresh your memory. Why don't you go rustle us up something real quick to eat, ma'am? Me and the boys are awful hungry.
Where's your liquor, sir? Well, ain't that nice? Why don't you bring a few bottles over here? And now, what's this? Copy of the Independent. Listen to this, boys. Says here there's no such thing as organized lawlessness in southern New Mexico. I guess that means we better get more organized.
Denver Pass broke with his head in the air and now drops back to last. Toward the outside, we have Joe Carver and Ochoa heading up for the lead, and it's feature Mr. Bojangles. Inside of them, he's our secret. Down along the inside is eyeing this feature Mr. Bojangles. Ochoa, the two powerhouses are back. Ochoa beats feature Mr. Bojangles.
I had this horse. We kept him turned out pretty much all winter. Just kind of piddled around with him. I got here back here at Ruidoso, and he really wasn't quite ready to run, but we've got a couple of races in him now, and he's kind of getting back in the groove, and I think we're going to be all right with him. He's really a very fast horse, and he's just been just a little bit out of sync. But that race he run in the trials, I think, gives me hope he's on his way back.
We took him over to his first trial that was in Sunray Park over in Farmington. You know, he came in second in his trial. He qualified, and he wins the final. He comes to the Rainbow Futurity. You know, he wins his trial there, and then he ends up winning the Rainbow Futurity. The trial that he had for the Rainbow Derby, to us, it was almost like a final, you know, because that trial was a pretty tough trial, you know. He was competing against very good horses, which one of those horses is Ochoa, you know, a very good horse.
Oh, Billy, how could they do this? They must know that they have no right to my property. No right. Who do these men think they are? They've run everyone else's life around here. Now they're trying to ruin mine. But I won't stand for it. I won't. Billy, you stay here with the others. I'm going to ride ahead. I need some time to think. What's that, Billy? What do you mean? Ride.
Little bunching going on between the 2 through the 6, but getting away well, all of them mostly. 13-9 at the rails in front. 13-9 from the long knife far side. We have Algorithmic, and here comes Jess Sinme coming on now along with Linda T. Fire. Still 13-9, a host of horses behind it, but that's all they'll be. 13-9, the winner.
Lo tengo desde los 2 años. Desde los 2 años, pero este caballo es hermano del Yayo que empezó a correr.
We've had this horse since he's a 2-year-old. We also had his brother, who is now a 3-year-old, Yayo. And this horse started running fast as a 3-year-old. During his 2-year-old career, he didn't show much. So we were expecting this horse to come along better as a 3-year-old. However, comparing this horse, 13-9, to the field that he was running against in the trial, it was a surprise for us to see him come and win, especially against such an incredible field.
Yeah, I'm Billy. Why? So you want to ride with me, huh? How old are you, boy? 17. And they call me the kid. Listen, boy, I've been looking back at my life, and I ain't quite sure what I see. It ain't been a long one.
And I don't know if I ever done nothing that means a lick to anybody. I tried to do what I thought was right most of the time. Other folks thought different, I guess. Oh, sure, there's some things I shouldn't have done. But that's the way it is in these parts. I don't know if there's any such thing as right around here. Sometimes I think maybe we're all wrong. We start thinking about just ourselves and we forget about everybody else. And that's when the trouble starts. And it don't stop until you catch a bullet in your gut. Guess you got to keep running from that bullet as long as you can. Why don't you go on back home, boy? Before that bullet starts heading your way, too.
They're running. Beautiful break. Mighty Be Valiant flashes speed from the far side. Then it's GBH Zippy in the middle with Priceless Feature now coming on and taking over. Priceless Feature far side. Mighty Be Valiant down at the rail. Ms. Internship. And then we have a Stoli effort and Lethal Vault. Priceless Feature in command. Priceless Feature cruises on home to a win from Mighty Be Valiant. Then Stoli.
Priceless Feature out of the Heritage is a yearling for a good owner of mine, you know, Ed Melzer. He make $100,000 when he's a 2-year-old, and then he's coming around this year and he win the Heritage Derby. And Ed's been one of my good owners. He, you know, he buys kind of what I want to buy. So I think he's win 5 this year. He run 4th in the Remington Derby. It's the only time he's been beat this year. This horse is pretty solid right now. He leaves good, he runs good down the track. He handled the altitude change on him the other day really good.
Well, I went in to talk to Maxwell, to ask him where the kid was. I asked him as soon as I got in there if the kid was in the country. He got agitated and answered that he was. Just then a man came in at the door and spoke to my men in Spanish, supposing them to be Mexicans. Well, I didn't recognize him because it was so dark. Then he came in and approached the bed, and after speaking to Maxwell, asked who were those outside. Well, I had not had time to fix my revolver and had not expected to see him there, so I reached around and adjusted. Just then, Maxwell started up in the bed, and the kid pulled down on me and said, "Who is it?" Well, he must have recognized me then as I had him, because he jumped back with a cat-like movement, his gun less than a foot from me. And I jerked my gun and fired. The flash of the pistol blinded me, and I fired in the same direction again. And I was ready to shoot a 3rd time. But I heard him groan. Knew that he was struck.
Hey, mister! Are you heading east?
Sure, get in if you don't mind riding in the back.
Oh, wait a minute. Thank you folks for listening. I guess I'd better be on my way. New York, hold the presses. Have I got a story for you?